wise wander the right way. We'll give you the latest chapter. Plus, David Tua will have the gloves on tonight. We'll have a preview. This and more on Friday Night Fights. Let's get it on. Yes, you are watching Friday Night Fights, not an off-season edition of the NBA tonight. This is Max Kellerman. I am Jason Jackson in for Brian Kenny off an assignment at Cooperstown for Hall of Fame inductions. And by the way, I'm the Reds fan. I got 3 Reds going in the Hall of Fame. He gets to go up to Cooperstown.
Oh, mazel tov.
Thank you very much. We're going to talk about assignments, but we'll talk about a great night in boxing tonight. The first thing you said to me when I came into the production meeting, besides what in the world are you doing here, was we have a great main event. Tell us all about it.
Yeah, Teddy Reed, especially recently, has been an action, TV-friendly fighter. He's in against Golden Johnson tonight. Golden Johnson has shown in his biggest fights, especially against Shane Mosley, that's what jumps out in my mind, that he's a willing guy. He'll stand there and fight guys and give good performances against his best opponents. That's what you got to hope for tonight, because Teddy Reed is right in that mix at 140 pounds with Zab Judah, Randall Bailey, Costa Tszyu, Sharmba Mitchell and company. He has to continue to look good, exciting, if not impressive. Tonight he has the opportunity to do it. Let's see if he can.
Golden Johnson. That is a boxing name.
Well, it's not Shaq Diesel, but it's not bad.
We'll take it for this night. You stay with us all night long. We have so much coming up. We're going to take you back to Saturday night for Louis Botha. We also talk about David Tua, who's next in line for Lennox Lewis. And we'll also talk with Chris Bird, who says he's going to keep it in the family. He'll explain himself live here on Friday Night Fights. But right now, it is fight time. Bob Papa, Teddy Atlas, it's all yours.
Thank you very much, Jason. Feel like I'm back in the NBA season. A little NBA tonight. Good to have Jason in the hot seat. Friday Night Fights presented by Miller High Life. Anthony Jones, Rhoshii Wells, 10 rounds, junior middleweights from the Soaring Eagle Casino in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. And there's Rhoshii Wells from Atlanta, Georgia, born in Austin, Texas, 23 years of age, 12-0-1 with 7 knockouts. And, of course, he picked up a bronze medal in the 1996 Olympic Games in his hometown of Atlanta, Georgia. Lost in the semifinals to Ariel Hernandez of Cuba, who went on to win a gold medal. He's been plagued by some managerial problems, has been inactive, but he feels he's back on track. And he is going to get the first real test of his career. 34-year-old Anthony Jones out of Detroit, Michigan, weighed in at 158 pounds, 44 wins, 30 knockouts. He has been involved in a lot of wars. He's taken on a lot of former champions, and he's squared off in title bouts in his career. And you take a look at the names he has been in against, and Teddy, it's sort of a who's who. Got Julian Jackson here on ESPN2. Late in Jackson's career, that was back in '98, but he's a tough competitor.
Oh yeah, he's fought 7 former world champions and beat 3 of them. This is a step up for Mr. Wells.
And he's got a win against Vince Phillips, and along the way, some very exciting action fights, although he is coming off a loss against Jason Papillon. Dale Grable is the referee. Let's take a look at the rules as governed by the Saginaw Chippewa ruling tribe. 3 knockdown rule in effect, standing 8 count in effect. Fighter can be saved with bell in the final round. Only accidental cuts still go to the scorecards after half the rounds are complete. Well, Anthony Jones says he was a bit surprised that Wells would fight him, but he said he did the same thing when he was a youngster, taking on the tough guys, and he says he will take a look at what Wells has. Round number 1 underway.
Jones will switch from orthodox to southpaw during the night.
Came off a majority decision loss in an upset for the NABF title against Jason Papillon in April. Take a look at the rounds fought as a professional. Wells fought on March the 26th of 1999, then did not have a fight again until April 7th. Says he's cleared up his managerial problems, had 2 weeks of preparation. Says he's working on the jab, looking to stay in the pocket. Says it seems like just yesterday he was getting ready for the Olympics. And before you know it, it's 4 years later, and he's been frustrated, and that's why he had the managerial changes. Fernando Vargas, David Reed, Floyd Mayweather, people from that Olympic team have had more opportunities than Wells, and he wanted to see a bit more of it.
He's one of these typical amateur kids coming out of amateurs with over 100 fights, good speed, good talent, good all-around ability. Can he put it together? Can he mature? Can he become ring savvy? Can he step up and become a real good pro?
He was only 19 at the Olympic Games. A wide-eyed kid, kind of right hand by Wells.
And Jones has switched southpaw. He'll pull every trick out of the book that he can to disrupt the younger Wells. Jones will.
And Wells expecting that in the preparation.
Wells is naturally the bigger guy, been a junior middleweight his whole career, never under 154 pounds. Jones started his career as a lightweight. 31 of his fights were at 142 pounds or less. And he's been as light as at 135 pounds.
Yep, back in 1989 against Edwin Rosario. He was knocked out in the 6th round for the WBA lightweight title. Jones led on all 3 cards heading into that 6th round. Obviously, it was early in the fight, but still.
Oh, Edwin Rosario was a tremendous lightweight champion and a tremendous puncher. Also lost to Pernell Whitaker for lightweight title. Fought for the lightweight title twice, Mr. Jones. Right now, Wells is picking his spots.
There might be a cut along one of the eyes of Rhoshii Wells. Might be the right eye. Yes, it is. On the right eyelid or eyebrow. We'll have to find out from our referee, Dale Grable, if that was from a punch or an accidental clash of heads.
You know, Jones cuts a lot of guys. He throws the kind of punches that are cutting punches. He's done this a lot.
Final seconds of round 1. Pretty good round for Rhoshii Wells. And they'll have to work on that cut in between rounds 1 and 2. Well, coming up tonight in our main event here on Friday Night Fights, we will have the vacant NABF Junior Welterweight Championship as Teddy Reed squares off against Golden Johnson. And it should be a very interesting bout. Teddy Reed, up and coming. Golden Johnson has been there, and he'd like another shot at a world championship. That's coming up in our main event tonight. Glad you could join us from Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Bob Papa along with Teddy Atlas. And Teddy, we have to reprimand Golden Johnson. In his last fight against Ben Tacky, he was overweight, and he said that's why he lost. He comes into this fight weighing in yesterday 10 pounds overweight. How could a guy be 10 pounds overweight when he knows that the weight limit is 140?
Oh, there's no excuse for it. There's no excuse for his people with him, quite honestly. That's why trainers are there. Otherwise, you might as well not have a trainer. Completely irresponsible, completely unprofessional. And not only is he 9.5 pounds over, he's the smaller guy in this fight. He's really a lightweight. There should be no reason for him to be overweight.
No, and if he wins the bout tonight, he doesn't get the title. It's a vacant title, but only Teddy Reed could win it because of Johnson's weight. Reed was 2 pounds overweight, lost a couple of pounds yesterday. He took some cash and agreed to go on with this fight against Golden Johnson, but Golden Johnson with a huge mistake coming in here 10 pounds overweight. Take a look at some punch numbers from round number 1. Wells outlanding Jones 16-7.
As I said earlier, Jones, Bob, is known for cutting guys. When he fought Vince Phillips, he cut Vince Phillips. Vince Phillips, of course, the former junior welterweight champion of the world. He was able to beat Vince Phillips by a 7th round TKO on that cut. What kind of punches Jones throws? Slashing punches. Turns them over. Glove turns, cuts the skin. It's no accident when a guy regularly cuts guys for punches. There's a reason. Well, of course, the kind of fight Jones wants, he wants to apply pressure. He wants to test the young, talented Wells. Jones keeps switching back and forth from orthodox to southpaw. He just did it again. He's smart enough to switch from a distance when he switches, because if you switch from too close, as you're switching your feet, you can be very susceptible. You're not ready to get away from a punch. The man you're switching on, in this case would be Wells, can step in and punch, catch you flat-footed.
Jones knows every trick in the trade. As you mentioned, Wells has been in against soft competition. We've seen him here on ESPN 2 a couple times. September of '98 against Robert Kuhn, and October of '98 against Charles Ward. Both knockout wins.
You can see that right now, big part of the strategy for Wells is to punch out with that right hand, especially when he sees Jones turn southpaw. He's obviously from the school, Wells that is, that you throw right hands at a southpaw. I'm from the school that you throw left hooks. You step to your left, and you get in position to throw that left hook.
Is it hard though when the guy keeps switching? Does it make you think that 1 extra second and then causes a problem for you?
When you're a young fighter, it might be. And when you're a young fighter stepping up in class for the first time.
Good test for Wells against Anthony Jones.
A janitor invented the Hoover using a fan and a pillowcase. If you have an invention, call 1-800-432-IDEA for free inventor's information. That's 1-800-432-IDEA. And market it before someone else does.
My day starts here, but who knows when it'll end. That's why I use new Speed Stick Ultimate Deodorant. It's formulated to give you antibacterial protection that kills odor. For tough 24-hour protection.
Milk experts agree, because 6 fluid ounces of milk go into every 100 grams, Cadbury milk chocolate tastes creamy because of the milk.
The most prestigious sporting event in the world comes to TSN this summer. Join us for the games of the 27th Olympiad, Sydney 2000, Canada's Olympic Specialty Network.
Here at the Soaring Eagle Casino in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Beautiful facility. About a 45-minute drive from Saginaw. We get set for the start of round number 3 between Anthony Jones and Rhoshii Wells. Wells cut in round number 1. And we were told by referee Dale Grable that cut along the right eye was from a punch, as Teddy surmised, from Jones. So if this bout is stopped because of that cut at some point, Jones would be a winner by TKO. Take a look at some punch numbers in round number 2. Of the 9 landed by Wells, 4 were jabs. They had a tough round to score because Jones was much busier.
Yes, he was much busier. But though, if you want to just look at the punches that had any weight to them, it seemed to be the couple right hands. It was only a couple by Wells.
Well, that's a clash of heads. And Jones, I think, got Wells in the mouth.
Stay on there. Go.
Not a knockdown.
It was a butt. It was a head butt.
Accidental
Stay right
clash
there.
of heads. I think it
Go ahead,
got
Doc,
Jones in the Wells in the nose
Take a
or the
look at him,
mouth.
Good. It's a head butt. It's going to give
I'm
him rest.
surprised the ref's not letting him get up. I guess
Let
he
him
just
take a
wanted to
look
give him a
at
little rest.
Well, I'm going to take a look at it.
It wasn't there. They hit him right in here. They hit
Yeah, an accidental clash of a head.
Can you
and it hit
continue?
Wells right sort of, Teddy, almost looked like it got him underneath the nose and above the mouth.
Yeah, and there's blood. I noticed there's blood coming out of his mouth. Quite honestly,
Stay there. Get your mouthpiece. It's your mouthpiece.
I was just going to say, I was wondering if he had his
It's
mouthpiece
an accidental
in
head
that round
butt. You hit
because
with the head butt.
unless they came up and
It
took
was
the
an
mouthpiece from
accidental
him
head butt.
while the referee was allowing him to rest
Over here.
and put it just
Get
now
the
put
rag.
it back in his mouth. He didn't come out with a mouthpiece that
Box.
round. I'm wondering whether or not he had that mouthpiece in at the beginning of the round when they banged heads. Because
I thought
his corner man just gave it to him now.
Yeah, I thought he might have spit it out, though, when he went down.
I guess that's very possible.
Accidental clash of heads. No cut, though, in the face of Wells. Remember, the cut on the right eye of Wells that he suffered in round number 1 was from a scoring blow from Jones.
But right now, this fight is easy to see what's transpiring in front of you, what to look for. Pressure from Jones, even though he's naturally the smaller guy, started his career as a lightweight, while Wells has been a junior middleweight his whole career. He wants to put pressure on. He has the experience. And Wells is looking at pot shot. Keep distance and pot shot. And use his better hand speed.
Well, Wells taking on the very tough Jones. Said after the managerial pauses, he scores a nice combination. Oh, good double left hook to the body by Wells.
And that's what you want to do with those experienced guys. Go to the body. Take away what's left in their legs, in those 34-year-old legs. And start doing it early. Don't wait till it's too late.
Well, Wells told us he's got to get moving. He realizes that his 96 Olympic teammates have passed him by. And even guys that weren't on the team, like a Zab Judah, guys from that 96 crop, the amateur game. And he says, hey, with the 2000 Olympics right around the corner, there's going to be a new wave of hot properties. And if I don't get moving and start fighting better competition and getting my name out there and getting quality wins, I'm going to be left at the post.
And on top of that, adding to that, on national television here, important not only to win, but to look good and impressive winning. That will speed up the recognition process that he talked about. That will speed it up. Not if you look average. But he's looking a pot shot here.
Wells has used his jab and hooked to the body, and he's had success against Jones through 3.
At Blockbuster, we believe that everyone should be able to bring home the movie they want. Tonight, bring home the whole 9 yards. There's something about Jimmy the Tulip Tedeschi that has the neighborhood dying to know more. The whole 9 yards, starring Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry, from Warner Home Video, rated 14A. Guaranteed to be there, or it's free next time. Blockbuster, bringing entertainment home.
Remember Jared? He got our attention with his balanced diet, including Subway sandwiches and lots of walking. Well, it's been a year, so let's see how he's doing.
Looking buff, Jared.
Way to go, Jared! I guess that answers our question. Looks like Jared still loves Subway's great taste and enjoys his choice of 7 Subway sandwiches with 6 grams of fat or less. He remains a true inspiration to all of us who want a better and active lifestyle. Subway, the way a sandwich should be.
It's full of anticipation. It's an experience. Anything can happen. It's you and me.
It's the Jays and the Indians
against them.
It's on TSN Tuesday.
See it? Live it. TSN.
Well, it lands where you would want it to land, right near the chin, but it's a head, not a punch. And the question that I asked before is answered right there. You can see the mouthpiece laying right there. He did have his mouthpiece in, Wells. He spit it out, and his cornerman put it back in during the time the referee was allowing him to recover.
Yeah, accidental clash of heads. Wells was cut in round 1 from a punch from Jones along the right eye. Has not been a big problem. We'll take a look at the punch numbers through 3 rounds, and you see that Jones has been much busier. Wells more accurate. Good right hand by Jones.
Because Wells went straight back with his left hand down. And Jones was smart enough to use the jab to close the gap and then let the right hand go. You don't know. You made a good point. You said, does it confuse a younger man when the opponent switches from lefty to righty? Lefty to righty. Well, it looks like maybe it does with Wells, because Jones is doing this so often that sometimes you don't know which hand is coming. Which one is coming? Is it the backhand, the left hand coming from the back? Or is it the left hand coming from the front?
That's true. You know, the other thing, too, is you mentioned that Jones is, fought at lightweight. But you have to remember, since 96, he's been fighting at junior middleweight. This is his 14th fight at junior middleweight. So Jones is pretty accustomed to this weight. Good right hand by Wells.
And he's so experienced, and he's been in there with good fighters at this weight. And in all weights.
Wells lands a nice combination, and Jones makes him miss with subtle head movement off the ropes.
Now that's where the bigger Wells should have kept his hands free instead of cooperating with a tie-up and a clinch in that situation. He's a bigger guy. He wants to go to the body when he gets opportunities. Take away those 34-year-old legs a little bit more. Or wear on those 34-year-old legs. If you need any other illustration to show you the separation and experience in the two fighters, well, Jones already had 45 fights when Wells made his pro debut.
Go pull in.
He turned pro back in '85.
You can see the battle plan. Wells looking to pot shot or counter punch, mostly with the right hand when Jones reaches in a little. Like that.
4 rounds in the book, scheduled for 10.
So, you started your own business. Good for you. There's just one little problem.
Customers, sales, the mythical golden egg. How do you get them? Let's think strategically. The golden egg comes from what else? The magic hen. Who's got the hen? The giant. He ain't a real nice giant, and he's way up there. What do? Well, Jack had a beanstalk. You've got to send them from Sprint Canada. It's a new marketing toolkit for small business. One thing it'll do is help you climb onto the internet. Climb, ascend. Get it? Build a website. Make some noise. Tell a sender what you want to say. A sender builds your site. Simple. It gives you a customized.com name, absolutely free. Just to tie up this whole fairy tale thing, send it costs you beans. I'm only $34.95 a month. Go to ascenda.ca right now, because marketing for small business doesn't get any easier than this.
The last stop on the links each week is TSN. Corey Warren takes you to the hottest spots on the tour so that you can wrap up the weekend knowing you didn't miss a shot. It's a golfer's paradise. Ford, that's golf. See it, live it. TSN.
This is the way they draw it up on the board. Press behind that jab, set up that right hand. And that's exactly what Mr. Wells did. And he scored on the more experienced Jones. Only thing he could add to that is come back with the left hook.
Well, through the first 4 rounds, Jones has yet to land double-digit punches in any round. Did open up a cut on the right eye of Wells in round number 1. Sam Hickman handling the cuts in Wells' corner. Has not been a problem. You look at the jab numbers through 4, and you see Jones obviously living off that jab, but not very successful with it.
I talked before about how Wells, the bigger man, should go to the body when he gets opportunities. On the older Jones, I believe Jones should be going to the body. Take away the legs of the younger guy.
Yeah, it's been few and far between the body shots.
You got a young man in front of you in Wells. One of the lines of defense that he likes to use is his legs and the body. Take him away. I said last round that Wells didn't do enough when he got inside. He cooperated with the clinches. He's not doing that now. He's rotating his shoulders. He's making sure he kept punching.
And there he goes right back after Jones. That was nicely done. Referee called for a break, and then he stepped right back in.
Keep that head on there. Keep that head on.
He should be working a lot here. He's the younger guy. Work. Push the older man. Don't let the older man use his experience, Bob. Experience can only be used if you give the guy distance and time to use it.
Step back, step back.
You can take away experience with pressure. That's what Wells is doing.
He said he was working on that jab and, more importantly, staying in the pocket, so to speak.
When a guy's experienced, usually wants a little distance. They have to time the guy coming in. They have to set a guy up, feint him into something. But when you press a guy and you stay on him, like Wells is doing, you don't let him do those things. Wells is doing what the younger man should do. He's getting busy.
Good lead with that head. Good lead with that head. Get the head out. Stop.
Now Now the test is going to be, can he keep it up?
Step back.
Final seconds of round 5. Wells' output more and more, and a nice combination to punctuate the round.
The new Cephia from Kia. Yeah, it's been around the block on a 200,000-kilometer test drive through grueling conditions and the worst nature could throw at us. But that Kia fit right in. Because like we found in over 100 other countries in the past 40 years, good old reliable quality goes a long, long way. And we've got the numbutts to prove it. So you could pay thousands more for a Toyota Corolla, or you could get a Cephia and a lifetime supply of coolers. Kia, because it's about time everyone had a well-made car.
Golf socks, $14. Golf shoes, $105. Designer golf socks, $80. Entertaining your clients, priceless. There are some things money can't buy. For everything else, there's MasterCard. Accepted for golf outings most everywhere.
Off the Record with Michael Landsberg, where athletes and celebs drop the gloves and duke it out with their minds. Off the Record with Michael Landsberg, weekdays on TSN.
The corner of Anthony Jones trying to inspire him as we start round number 6. And they said to him, listen, you're down a couple rounds here. Let's get busy. Let's get going. We'll take a look at the numbers in round 5. And you see that, again, Jones was busier, but again, Wells lands the better punches.
And mostly with the right hand. Although that round he went to work going to that body on the inside. Putting punches together a little bit.
Ken Jones goes southpaw. Switch back and forth.
Of course, being a real experienced amateur as Wells was, he has seen plenty of southpaws in his career.
Yes.
He saw one and beat one in the pros back in '97. Beating Lee Wicks. A 4-round decision. Mr. Wicks was a southpaw.
See the numbers landed by round. Wells coming off his best round of 17 connects. Same for Jones.
Great. Stop punching. Step back clean, guys.
You can see that Jones is a little bit lazy with that left hand. And he throws it out. That means it can be timed with the right hand of Wells. Jones has switched to southpaw once again.
Correctly.
Not a lot of heavy artillery there from Jones when he had Wells against the ropes. Kind of pitter-pat.
Yeah. Maybe the kind of punches that if he gets his way, he's trying to set up something big on the end. Throw a couple easy punches, make you feel okay, make you feel safe, and finish with a hard, explosive punch. Veterans try to do that. Why? Because they're experienced, and they know that they can't stay with the younger guy as far as punch output. So they try to set him up with a punch that can turn the fight around. And that's one of the ways of setting a guy up. Or with a couple easy ones, and then all of a sudden finish with a hard one.
35 seconds to go in round number 6. And Teddy, this is by far the best competition Wells has been in against. Question for you. If you're in Wells' camp, are you pleased with what you've seen so far?
Yeah, I am. He's handled a cut early in the fight. Didn't fall apart, didn't lose his exposure, taking what's being given to him. I'd like to see him go to the body a little bit more with the older guy.
Great. You guys better watch
he's doing a good job.
Wells in control through 6.
Stop.
At the end of round 6.
T-minus 15 seconds. Ignition sequence start.
Cane Fruit Punch. The real fruit taste of real fruit juice. What a beautiful sound.
When it comes to the sport of equestrian riding, Canada is one of the top nations in the world. Watch the precision and the power of the athletes at the Blainville International Grand Prix, part of the Audi Classics Series. See it, live it, TSN.
Oh, here's one of the guys that you've seen on our show, Bronco McCart. You've seen him several times, scoring a knockdown against Papillon and winning that fight. And of course, he's a notable Michigan fighter. And here are some legendary notable Michigan fighters. Tommy the Hitman Hearns, Hillman Kenty, former world champion, Milton McCrory, Jimmy Paul, a lot of the guys from a gym named the Kronk.
Manuel Stewart's Kronk Gym, and Bronco McCart recently regained his NABF title with a win against Jason Papillon. Remember, here on Friday Night Fights, McCart had lost that title. Papillon went on to beat Anthony Jones, and then in the rematch against McCart, lost.
Of course, one of the men on that notable list is a little bit more than notable, the legendary late, great Sugar Ray Robinson. A lot of people think that he was originally from New York because he set up a lot of businesses in Harlem later in his professional career, but he was born in Detroit. Sugar Ray Robinson, maybe the greatest fighter of all time.
You see that Wells has landed 30 more punches than Jones, despite the fact that Jones has thrown many more punches in the fight, but not a lot of effective punches.
Break! Off his head. Break.
Well, you see one thing that Wells did good there when he got inside. He put his head on the side to make sure there would be no headbutts.
Straight punches there from Wells.
And Jones is looking to time Wells now, Bob. Looking to see if he can catch Wells throwing one punch too many. Being a little over anxious. Staying in the middle a little too long. That is exactly what Jones is trying to do. So that means that Wells must move quickly after his last punch and choose correctly how many punches he has time to throw.
Directly.
If he chooses to throw 4 and Jones comes back punching after 3, he might have a problem.
A couple of Wells' Olympic teammates headline in this division. Fernando Vargas, the reigning IBF champion, teammate from the '96 Olympics, and David Reed, a former champion who won gold in Atlanta, the only gold medal.
This is a growing fight, a maturing fight for Wells. They picked the time to do it after 13 fights. This is the kind of fight that will give confidence to Wells, will help Wells develop to the kind of pro they hope he does.
That's not the Anthony Jones of years ago.
No, it's not.
Top Anthony Jones, but in context to the guys that Wells has been fighting, Cordell Parkers, the Charles Wards, the Tim Edmonds, it's a good test for him. You got to start somewhere.
Wells and people picked them at the right time. That's what you're supposed to do.
Wells dominating 2-7.
Want to get to a rooftop party? Inside specially marked cases of Coors Light, find a talking can or cap, and you could win a trip for 2 to the party on the Peak with the Matthew Good Band live in Vancouver. The Coors Light talking can and cap. No purchase necessary. Must be 19 years of age.
New Always Ultra is now quilted. With 6 times more absorbent protection than women normally need. New quilted Always Ultra. 6 times more protection. Being a woman just got better.
The most prestigious sporting event in the world comes to TSN this summer. Join us for the games of the 27th Olympiad, Sydney 2000, Canada's Olympic Specialty Network.
Welcome back to Friday Night Fights on ESPN2, the Soaring Eagle Casino in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, brought to you by Miller High Life. Bob Papa, Teddy Atlas ringside, Anthony Jones, Rhoshii Wells getting set for the start of round number 8. Wells, a 1996 bronze medalist at the Olympic Games, in his first real step up in competition against Anthony Jones, a man who's been in against 7 former world champions, been in all kinds of wars. Coming up in the main event, Golden Johnson, Teddy Reed, with a vacant NABF junior welterweight title. There are the numbers through 7. Power punches through 7. You see Jones with a slight edge, but Wells has landed 39 more of the power shots. And pretty much controlling this bout. Wells was cut in round 1 on a punch from Jones. Wells went down in the 3rd round from an accidental clash of heads in which he got hit right under the nose, but was okay. So he's dealt with a little adversity, and he's kept his composure and his cool.
What Wells is going to have to learn is, right now he's looking to pick his spots. He doesn't want to leave himself open. He's looking to pick a counter. He just picked it. Pretty good. But sometimes you won't get that liberty. He's going to have to learn to control these moments with his jab. Be aggressive with his jab and still be defensively responsible.
Teddy, you have a shutout. He hit Jones round 2. That's it.
The reason he's going Wells, that is, going to have to learn to control these spots with his jab. Some guys will not allow him these moments, the pleasure to be able to have his time to pick his spots like he's getting right now. Wells is not being forced to step it up, so he's taking what's there, taking what's being given to him.
The corner of Wells, though, continues to shout from the corner, hit him and move, don't just stand there.
You don't want to stand there with an experienced guy like Anthony Jones who will counterpunch you and time you if you take a picture after you punch. And who has, of course, 30 knockouts to his credit to prove it.
4 past the 7th round. In fact, when he defended the NABF title last year, he knocked out Rene Herrera in the 9th round. So he has shown some late power at junior middleweight.
You can see Wells maybe getting a little tired or thinking about going to the later rounds because he's tying up. Whenever he gets inside, tying up Jones.
Wells has been 10 rounds. That against Ron Weaver in March of '99. Well, not a lot of punches from Wells here in round number 8, letting Jones be the aggressor.
Life doesn't stop just because you're getting your car serviced. So at GM Good Wrench Service, we go out of our way to help.
Oh, I see the van's in for service.
Mostly, that means fixing your car right. And on time. GM Good Wrench Service. Right on time.
Check out the rippin', twistin', crispin' styling of McCain Super Spirals. Wow! Seriously twisted fries. McCain starts with its famous super fries, adds a twist, and rolls them in a light-tasting batter. And then a dash of spice for crunch after crunch of super seasoned satisfaction. McCain is twisting, spinning, and jumping your way. McCain Super Crisps and Super Spirals. Seriously twisted fries.
Monday, Classics Boxing tees up a blast from the past with Joe Louis and Rocky Marciano. Then it's Championship Boxing with the Lennox Lewis-Franz Botha fight. Double-header boxing, Monday on TSN.
One of Max Kellerman's favorites, WBO heavyweight champion Chris Bird, and a 1992 Olympian, checking out the action here in Mount Pleasant, Michigan, and we'll get a chance to talk with Chris Bird. Jason and Max will interview Chris a little bit later in the show. Right now, Rhoshii Wells, Anthony Jones underway, round number 9 in this 10-rounder. Jones has not been very active. We'll take a look at the numbers in round 8. Jones actually has been busier, but he has not been accurate. I should correct myself. Landing just 3 of 61, but he was the aggressor in the last round, Teddy, and Wells didn't really seem to do a lot.
You never know how judges are looking at a fight. They're looking at the guy throwing or the guy landing. It's supposed to be the guy landing, but it's a subjective business. Don't forget one other thing. Mr. Jones is from a place called Detroit. Well, it happens to be in this state.
Well, 2 rounds ago, Jones's corner was really, trying to urge him on, saying, you got to get busy. You're down. We got you down a bunch of rounds here. I mean, you got to do something.
Looks like Jones is stepping it up a little bit this round and being helped to step it up by what Wells is doing, or maybe more correctly, what Wells is not doing. Wells is not moving his hands quite enough. Looking for spots maybe a little bit too much now. Maybe in his mind worried about going into the later rounds and figure he's ahead. Doesn't want to get caught with anything. Maybe being a little too careful. Gotcha. Then all of a sudden you got to turn it on and you get careless. That's what you have to be careful for. You want to be steady throughout.
You heard that thumping. That was the corner of Jones pounding the ring apron. Get busy, get busy, get busy. But that could be dangerous because the fighters could think that's the pounding of 10 seconds to go in the round.
And they can get discouraged too. You're saying they could be dangerous because they could open up and walk into something. You're right. But also they could get discouraged. Say, okay, now mentally let up a little bit, turn the engine off, and then all of a sudden, hey, where's the bell? Right. Experienced fighter though, like Mr. Jones, he doesn't worry about that stuff. Been in there too many times. 10 rounds, 7 times, 12 rounds, 3 times. Of course, Wells only, as you said, it's only been 10 rounds 1 time. Only 8 rounds 1 time.
Wells seems to be backing off the offense a little bit here in the last 2 rounds.
Looking for spots. But has Jones stepped it up enough and taken advantage during those moments when Wells let up? I don't know if he's done enough. I don't know if he can do more at this point in his career.
10th and final round still to come. Wells in control.
Life doesn't stop just because you're getting your car serviced. So at GM Good Wrench Service, we go out of our way to help.
Oh, I see the van's in for service.
Mostly, that means fixing your car right. And on time. GM Good Wrench Service. Right on time.
See how generous she is. This is triple chill cake from McCain. The cake with the ice creamy taste. A big slice goes to her friend here. A big slice goes to her friend here. A big slice goes to her little brother.
Enjoy.
A big slice goes to her little brother.
This much.
Triple chill cake from McCain. Have your cake. An ice creamy taste too.
It's full of anticipation. Innocent experience. Anything can happen. It's you and me.
It's the Jays and the Indians
against them.
It's on TSN Tuesday.
See it, live it. TSN.
Fans enjoying themselves here at the Soaring Eagle Casino in Mount Pleasant, Michigan. Bob Papa, Teddy Atlas. Round 10, the final round underway between Anthony Jones and Rhoshii Wells. And good combination by Wells to start the round. And Teddy, the corner of Wells sort of getting on him. The last 2 rounds he's been lackluster, and he might be letting Jones back in the fight.
Yeah, he has. I don't know how far behind Jones is in the fight, but he has allowed Jones to get back the last couple of rounds, although I have Jones fairly far behind.
I have him down by 3 points. You have him down by 2. You have him down by 4, right? You have it 7-2.
I have it 88-83.
87-84 for Wells. Now Jones' own corner at the end of the 7th said, hey, you got to get going here.
They mentioned one other thing that I mentioned before. Don't forget, they said, actually in Wells' corner, they told Wells, don't forget where you are. You are in Detroit. Let's see if that means anything.
Or at least in the same state. Some blood streaming out of that right eye. Remember, Wells was cut in round number 1 from a scoring blow that has not been a factor until now. The corner of Wells wants him to do a little more trading, because when he was the aggressor, like so, he's been able to score. Looks a little tired.
Yeah, we mentioned that a couple rounds ago, doing a lot of clinching inside.
And someone from his corner said, hey, you'll rest later. It keeps turning to the referee in those break situations. That's not a good idea, is it?
Oh, it's not. It doesn't look good to the judges either, Bob.
Keep my eye on the guy that has leather on his hands.
You're right about that, because sometimes you think you got a guy tied up, and some of these veterans, they know they're like eels. They know how to slip their hands out of there, and all of a sudden punch. 1 second you're tied up, the next second they let go a little bit, and they catch you with a surprising combo.
Well, slings a hook to the body.
See that sneaky right hand in there by Jones? 1 second it was behind the back of Wells, and then all of a sudden he took it out, and he caught Wells with the right hand.
Wells very content to allow Jones to tie him up. And he got hit in the eye again. I think the heads came together.
Jones does lean in there with his head a lot. That's why you have to have your head on the side.
The referee said push off and fight on. Final seconds. Little left hand by Jones. Wells with the left hand to punctuate the end of round number 10. Good action fight between Anthony Jones and Rhoshii Wells. Wells has not suffered a loss in his career, controlled a lot of the action. We'll get the judges' cards when we return after this timeout.
If I could see my clients every day, not only could I keep track of their love lives.
This girl, Nancy, she's beautiful. She's smart.
I'd promise they'd never see another flake of dandruff. But since I can't see them every day, I tell them, use Head & Shoulders every time they shampoo to help stop flakes before they even start. And Head & Shoulders leaves hair beautiful.
Looks great.
Nancy's gonna love it. It's daily dandruff care for beautiful hair.
Steak! Order the steak! I highly recommend it. It's grilled to perfection, delicious. Yeah, I like mine medium. Steak!
The Kegs Lobster Summer is back. Enjoy our sirloin with half a lobster, fresh steamed whole Atlantic lobster, and lots more. Lobster Summer from June 5th to July 30th.
Don't listen to him. He's crazy. Desperate, really. Ignore him. Steak! That's where it's at.
Blockbuster. We believe that everyone should be able to bring home the movie they want. Tonight, bring home the whole 9 yards. There's something about Jimmy the Tulip Tedeschi that has the neighborhood dying to know more. The whole 9 yards, starring Bruce Willis and Matthew Perry from Warner Home Video, rated 14A. Guaranteed to be there, or it's free next time. Blockbuster, bringing entertainment home.
See how generous she is. This is Triple Chill Cake from McCain. The cake with the ice creamy taste. A big slice goes to her friend here. A big slice goes to her friend here. A big slice goes to her little brother.
Enjoy.
A big slice goes to her little brother.
This much.
Triple Chill Cake from McCain. Have your cake. A nice creamy taste, too.
Next week, we head to the Alamo, San Antonio, Texas, in the Freeman Coliseum. We'll get a look at the comebacking Tony Ayala. 27-0, 24 knockouts. He's looked pretty good since coming back. And he'll be taking on former champion Yuri Boy Compass. 74 wins. That coming up in our main event next Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern from San Antonio, Texas. Friday Night Fights presented by Miller High Life. Well, Wells and Jones complete their 10 tough rounds of boxing action. Let's take a look at the punches. And the key here is that Jones threw 243 more punches, although Wells landed 59 more. Teddy's scorecard is as follows. You have it 98-92 Wells. I have it 97-93 Wells. For the judges' cards, here's Mark Bureau.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a majority decision. Judge Monty Oswald scores the bout 95-95, a draw. Judge Jack Richards sees it 96-94. And Judge Ron Cunningham scores it 97-93 to the winner by majority decision, Rhoshii Wells.
So Wells gets a majority decision. Teddy, one of the judges, liked the fact that Jones threw 243 more punches.
How about landing some of them?
Well, Rhoshii Wells remains unbeaten. Now 13-0-1. Majority decision against Anthony Jones, and a pretty good test against Anthony Jones.
Kind of fight that they could build on, the kind of fight that he could grow from and improve from. And obviously that's what they hope happens.
The 96 Olympian gets a majority decision win. Main event still to come, but now we check in with Jason Jackson, not with Mad Dog Carter, but with Mad Max Kellerman. Jason?
That's right. We want to never confuse the sports here on ESPN2. Max, let's talk about this. This is the way you start a Friday Night Fight edition, I assume.
It's the way you hope to. It was a fun fight to watch. Not as good as last week's. We had Letterlow in an incredible fight, but a solid undercard fight. It was nice to watch.
Fun to watch, without a doubt. Time now for Classic KO. We have Jose Torres versus Chick Calderwood. It's October 15th, 1966. Max was there. He told me it was. It was in San Juan, Puerto Rico for the World Light Heavyweight title. Torres' third title defense that year. Just doesn't happen anymore. Check it out.
Slams it right to the jaw, then literally poleaxes Calderwood. He's flat on his back from the force of that punch. Calderwood attempts to climb over the ropes, believing that he's been knocked out of the ring. The fight is over. Let's watch that incredible KO punch from another angle. In knockout stop action, we see the right at the moment that it landed. Calderwood drops like a stone. The Puerto Rican fans go wild as they demonstrate their enthusiasm for their homegrown champion. Jose Torres wins by a dynamic second-round knockout.
Fights, that's right. The undisputed one did some things on Saturday. We'll take you back. Chris Bird keeping it in the family. The Klitschko's can't get away from him.
Hey folks, welcome back to TSN Tonight. James Duffy here. He is at it again. Tiger Woods is just 18 holes away from capturing his first British Open title and also being the youngest player ever to win golf's Grand Slam, career Grand Slam it is. Tiger was at it again today at St. Andrews. He bogeyed the second hole, first bogey in 64 holes dating back to the third round at Pebble Beach. Par 3/8. Tiger's tee shot drops it close, about 18 inches away. He would tap in for birdie and go to 12 under par. To 18 now. Woods at 15 under, leading by 5, drops the birdie putt to give him a 6-stroke lead heading in to Sunday. And our continuing coverage of the British Open and Tiger's quest for the Grand Slam resumes Sunday morning, 9 a.m. Eastern Time, 6 a.m. Pacific Time, fourth round coverage from tee to green. BC Open, Canadian Glenn Natchuk, 3 strokes off the lead. Brad Faxon and Esteban Toledo are tied for the lead, and Kari Webb has the lead at the U.S. Women's Open.
This is my accent. It's sporty, roomy, and easy to carry. Elantra has all the features that make it a great fit for my family, including a lease that leaves me sitting pretty.
Sonata has air, power everything, and an engine that really moves. And a lease that's making them disappear.
You'll find amazing deals at Hyundai's Eye Opener sales event.
C'est joli. C'est mon endroit préféré de Paris. Ici toute la journée.
Chances are you may never see flakes again, wherever there is Head & Shoulders. So with the mere twist of just a few strands,
C'est tellement romantique. Écoute.
he'll realize letting go may be the hardest thing he ever does.
Oh, j'adore tes cheveux.
I don't understand a word you just said, but keep on talking.
Head & Shoulders. Dandruff should never get in the way of being close.
Canadians are polite.
Polite?
Canadians are humble.
They say we're reserved.
Aye! Oh! Let's go! Aye!
Reserved.
Oh, let's go!
Canadians are passive.
I don't think so. Aye! Oh! Let's go! Aye!
I am Canadian.
Aye!
We are set for tonight's main event here on Friday Night Fights, brought to you by Miller High Life. The vacant NABF Junior Welterweight Championship at stake. Teddy Reed and Golden Johnson getting set to square off. Johnson, a former NABF lightweight champion. Reed ranked number 9 by the IBF. Let's take a closer look at the combatants in the main event. Teddy Reed is in search of his 6th consecutive victory. The Baltimore native, by way of Jamaica, is 16-3-1 with 11 knockouts. He is currently ranked number 9 by the IBF in the junior welterweight division. At stake, the vacant NABF junior welterweight title tonight. We saw him here on Friday Night Fights back in September in North Carolina, taking on Jose Aponte. And Reed showed his power as he was able to put Aponte away in the second round.